You know deep down that it's true that, they've passed on.
Now at 11, processing the Santa Cruz Island boat fire. Families mourning the victims while others still wait for answers as to what happened to their loved ones. Plus this.
A Dominican hospital nursing assistant arrested for sexual assault. How the hospital is responding tonight.
And cracking down on vaping across the nation. What one mother's doing to help keep e-cigarettes out of the hands of kids and teens.
And continuing to track Dorian as it moves up the U.S. coast, where it's headed next. Plus a look at your local forecast.
And the boy who lived pulled from shelves at one school. Why the magical tales of Harry Potter are causing concern there.
This is KION News Channel 546 at 11.
Disturbing allegations out of Santa Cruz County. A Dominican hospital employee is being accused of sexually assaulting a patient. Thanks for being here. I'm Zach Fuentes. Now, the employee was a certified nursing assistant at the time of the alleged assault. The Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office arrested this man, 46-year-old Peter Francis Dunn of Santa Cruz, and booked him into county jail. KION's Alicia Machado tells us how the hospital is responding to the allegations.
Dominican Hospital says the sexual assault allegations are extremely distressing, and they've placed Dunn on administrative leave. Dominican Hospital nursing assistant Peter Francis Dunn faces felony charges after being arrested Friday for allegedly sexually assaulting a female patient under his care. The Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office says Dunn was working in the emergency department when the assault happened.
The investigation has revealed that there was a portion of time where the two were alone, and that's when the assault occurred.
The assault reportedly happened back in March, but the arrest happened just last week. Sheriff's Office PIO D. Baldwin tells me it took this long because it's a serious allegation.
We want to make sure that we have every piece of information that's available to us to substantiate that.
Dominican Hospital said in a statement to KION that they take the allegations very seriously and, quote, while we have strong patient safety policies and procedures already in place, we are constantly reviewing all practices to identify any opportunities for improvement. Dunn is now on administrative leave, but the Sheriff's Office says it's highly likely this is not an isolated event.
All of the circumstances indicate that this is not just an isolated event and that there's a potential that there's additional victims that haven't come forward yet.
The hospital says they'll continue to cooperate with the Sheriff's Office. They're also conducting a parallel investigation. The investigation is ongoing, and anyone with information can contact the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office at the number on your screen. In Santa Cruz, Alicia Machado, KION News Channel 546.
All right, now to the latest on the deadly boat fire that happened off the coast of Santa Barbara. We're now getting a look on board the Conception with the help of pictures. And the images show above and below deck where crew and passengers slept and passed the time. The safety video also details what the boat was equipped with if it experienced an emergency. The camera shows one emergency escape hatch below and one hatch through a window above. Investigators confirming tonight that when the boat went up in flames, it trapped people on board. We're also learning more about the victims as their families mourn.
She was a go-getter. She was just following her dreams. She loved it here and she loved the boat. She loved diving. And she would just she could do anything she wanted.
Sherry McDonough is talking about her daughter, Alexandra Kurtz, who died in the accident. A picture of Kurtz was placed at a makeshift memorial for the victims today. McDonough said she never imagined she'd have to go through this. We also know more about the victims from the Bay Area. The Fremont Unified School District confirmed tonight that one of their teachers, Scott Chan, there died along with his daughter. Chan was a physics teacher at American High School in Fremont. They said Chan was beloved and that it's a tremendous tragedy for their community.
You know deep down that it's true that, they've passed on and and they were in that boat and they're not going to be found.
And more victims in Northern California. Dominic Selga there is having trouble processing that some of the most important people in his life, his mom, stepdad, and stepsister, are likely gone.
What were they thinking? What happened? Why did it happen? What did they wake up to? Were they awake? Did they even wake up?
Selga said he had hoped his family was on a different boat. They'd taken a trip on the Conception before, all together, as part of his dad's diving hobby. Now, he's just left with questions about what happened and trying to figure out how he's going to tell his kids. Back here on the Central Coast, several people on board the dive boat were students and parents at Pacific Collegiate School in Santa Cruz. The school announced the news today, and the possible loss hit the tightly knit community hard. There were lots of hugs and flowers as kids arrived at school today. One parent says his son does not know the missing students personally, but it's still a lot to process.
He knows the people, but not close enough to feel shock the way some of the students will. But for all of us, it's this very strange, fake becomes real.
The school has brought in grief counselors for anybody who needed them today, and another member of the Santa Cruz community was on board that dive boat. Christy Finstad there is a marine biologist and diving instructor and is the co-owner of Diving Adventures. That's the company that chartered Conception. She also previously worked for the city of Santa Cruz. In a statement, the city says Finstad worked for the water department from 2005 to 2015 while also working for her family's diving business. The mayor says the tragedy on Labor Day is being felt deeply by the community. Finstad's brother also took to Facebook today, thanking everyone for their love and support and saying in part, "No final word on my sister Christy. However, it is likely she has transitioned to be with the good Lord." Christmas Hill Park, the site of the Gilroy Garlic Festival shooting, reopened to the public today, and hundreds gathered for a moment of silence.
I was praying for those who are healing, and not just physically healing, but emotionally healing.
Nearby, a memorial was created by a local landscaper. It has 16 wooden stakes and 3 rocks in the middle to represent the 3 lives they're lost. Stephen Romero, Kayla Salazar, and Trevor Irby.
It means a lot to those individuals that are coming here. They're able to stop. They could reflect about the victims. They could reflect upon their own lives and how they're moving forward.
It has been 5 weeks since the shooting, and residents say its effects are far from over. New at 11, one person is dead after a crash off Highway 1 in Santa Cruz County. It happened off Larkin Valley Road and Santos Drive just after 9 p.m. CHP confirms there is a road closure on the nearby White Road. All right, the Titans of Maverick surf competition has been canceled indefinitely. That is according to the World Surf League. They cited 2 reasons for that cancellation. One was, quote, various logistical challenges, and the second, the inability to run the event the last 2 seasons. Organizers held the popular event off the coast of Half Moon Bay in 2016, 2014, and 2013, but called it off last year and the year before. Surfers will instead compete in Hawaii and Portugal later this year.
And now, Chief Meteorologist Dan Siaka with your Weather Authority forecast.
I know a lot of you going back to work today. Turned out to be a pretty nice one around the Central Coast with temperatures pretty close to normal. Although it was hot in some locations. Parkfield hit 103 today. Santa Cruz was in the 80s. Watsonville came in at 80. Salinas in the mid-70s. Monterey back at 70 degrees today. And Pebble Beach and Moss Landing tied as our cool spot today with 66 degrees. So take a look out there tonight around the Monterey Bay. Our live look from the Domenico's Wharf Cam, not revealing any clouds. Usually you see the lights of the city reflecting off of those clouds. There are a few low clouds over Carmel Bay, but that's about it so far. So right now, a mostly clear evening. Temperatures in the 60s right now, 70s for some inland locations. Do have some changes on the way. Let's talk briefly about that. Here's our weather pattern right now. Ridge of high pressure over the central plains. We're here on the west coast, obviously, but this trough of low pressure digging in is bringing some southerly flow ahead of it. And with that, some moisture. So energy associated with the trough, some tropical moisture streaming in the mid to high levels of the atmosphere, maybe enough to generate a few isolated dry thunderstorms. More on that and what it could mean for your forecast tomorrow coming up.
Walmart announced major changes in its sale of ammunition and its policy regarding customers who openly carry guns. This after the deadly shooting in El Paso where a gunman killed 22 people in one of their stores. As a result, Walmart plans to discontinue sales of short barrel rifle and handgun ammo. They're also requesting customers no longer openly carry guns into stores in states where open carry is permitted. Within hours of making the announcement, the NRA tweeted, "It is shameful to see Walmart succumb to the pressure of the anti-gun elites. Lines at Walmart will soon be replaced by lines at other retailers who are more supportive." Others also aren't happy with the move.
All you're doing is you're handcuffing the people that want to take care of their family, the people that want to go into protection mode.
Grocery chain Kroger is also asking customers not to carry guns into its stores. The company says it will also call on lawmakers to pass gun reform laws, such as requiring stronger background checks. Last March, the company stopped selling guns in its 45 Fred Meyer stores in the Pacific Northwest. No word on how the grocery store chain plans to enforce that request. There is a nationwide crackdown on vaping. 3 states raised the minimum age to buy cigarettes and e-cigarettes just this week. CDC reports 215 possible cases and 1 death from severe lung disease associated with the use of e-cigarette products, which contain the same nicotine that has caused addiction with regular cigarettes. One mother founded a group against vaping after seeing her son's experience with them. She calls the group PAVE, or Parents Against Vaping E-Cigarettes.
We're an army of parents. I refer to myself as a momvacate. We're an army of motivated momvacates who are not going to allow our kids to become a generation of nicotine addicts.
Some health advocates are pushing for higher taxes on e-cigarette products and want the same regulations that ban indoor smoking applied to vaping. A new dress code is turning heads in Sacramento, why bar-goers believe it's targeting a certain race of people. Plus, Dorian downgrades, but it's still packing a punch. We're keeping an eye on it, as it could still make landfall. And UC Santa Cruz is hoping to save lives with its brand new facility. More on the innovative research they're doing now.